What to do a video about? What to do? Ooh, I know what I'll do! To the box of countless amounts of figures that I've built. Let's see. Pick a random one. Dead hand. Sweet. Please, Lego. Alright, so talking about the dead hand this time around. Oh goodness. He's a bit fragile, but his inner workings are pretty easy to figure out, probably. For his jaw piece, I've just got a bunch of, for his jaw piece here, I've just got a bunch of these things, focus, camera. There we go, I've just got a lot of these joint pieces. These little tooth pieces that I'm using, these things right here, all of those came from this guy, this Mixel. I don't remember his name, but he's a great character to have. He used to have teeth lining, both his lower jaw and the top of his jaw here. But, I took those off so I could use them for the dead hand's mouth. And I'd say it turned out pretty well. And it gives him the look that he has in the game. Now, I had a couple thoughts on how to do his round stomach. If you look, I used another one of these joint pieces, and I took one of these, I believe they're like a car part? They use them a lot in cars, on car builds. So I stuck that on here, there's this little crack here, stuck that right on, bent it up a little bit, bent it up like that, and he, pretty much came together right after that. The back of him looks like this, he's got, like, all that messy looking stuff. He doesn't have all the spots of blood all over him, but that would have been hard to do, so. I'm thinking he's just like the, Ocarina of Time 3D design, where he has less of that kind of stuff. He uses a circular 4x4 piece, flat piece, studs on top. Gives him his rounded kind of look. His hands are easy, they're just these, 2x1 single stud pieces. I don't know if that's their real name, but that's what I'm calling them. Sounds scientific enough. Whoa, it's dimming the camera. I just used those, and I used this 3x1 tilt piece, stuck those at the end, and I stuck them under. This is cool. This is for his arm. He has this piece, 2x1 slope. I put a 2x1 flat piece with studs, and I put it on the underside of that. Bent it in, because studs like that can work like joints. Camera, please. Studs like that can work like joints. And that's what I did for his arm. Put it on like that, bent it in, and there we go. Now, his headpiece is a bit more complicated. I could probably do a how to build for this guy in case any of you guys wanted a dead hand of your very own. A lot of people don't like the dead hand, but personally I think he's one of the coolest Zelda characters. I took one of these 2x2 flat single stud pieces, put it on top of the body, like that. And for his neck, his extra long neck, with an X, this is what I did, and it's fairly complicated. So, I'll move on to the inner workings of his head next. So, you take one of these things, these circular 2x2 pieces, the flat pieces, of course, and you do this, you take another one of these joint pieces, so be sure you have a lot of these if you're building the dead hand. Bend that in a little bit. Now, you're gonna want to take 2x1 completely flat on top, flat piece, put it on top of a 2x1 grabber, and, put it in with the grabber hand going up. Now, for his neck pieces, you use a 2x1 handlebar. You just use two of those and a 1x1 slope. And you kind of mimic that again, but this time there's a grabby hand. so that it can stick on. 2x1 grabby hand. And you do that, you bend it in, you can do all sorts of stuff with this neck. Twist it however you want, and you stick it right on top. So what this allows you to do is, with the one stud there, it allows you to spin it around with the greatest of ease. It's just great. And unfortunately, unless you put up the stomach part a little bit, it can't spin all the way, but it's not that big of a problem. Especially since he's opposable enough. So his head. Never mind. So this is the ending piece to his neck part. 1x1 grabby and a 1x1 circular stud. And you do that. You stick it right onto the end of the neck there. For his head, all sorts of stuff going on. He wasn't very stable to start off with in the build, so I did use a tiny bit of poster putty in the studs to keep it from moving around weirdly. If you want, you can use that same idea, or, I don't know, maybe you have stronger pieces. Some of mine are a little bit looser. But anyway, that's what I ended up doing. His nose is a 1x1 with a beak piece. The back of his head isn't quite as appealing as the front of it, but I think it really does look like the Dead Hand from Ocarina of Time. I'd say it worked. Now, one thing about it, you don't need to use this piece. You can substitute it, but I didn't have the right pieces for it, so. Actually, wait, no, you did need to do it. Oh, sorry. So you did need to do it. So this is a up slant piece, like this. I don't know how to describe it. 2x1 with a plate kind of going out. And I used that, and you stick the lower jaw onto that. And if you're using this with normal Legos, you might be able to do it somehow. There's maybe some sort of brick trick. But personally, I just used a Mega Bloks piece. Either it's I don't know, maybe it's a Connects piece, I don't remember. But it is a double-sided 2x1. And it was really useful for building this guy. Because you just stick it onto the bottom of the jaw and click them on. So he's not made completely out of Lego, but there are little bits and bobs and stuff that aren't made of Lego, but altogether, it creates the Dead Hand. And his head is a little bit big, but personally, I like it because it allows him to eat a minifigure better. Also, he cannot actually eat minifigure, but he can make his head wide enough, and because of how his head is built, his head can turn like it does in the game, come on down, and bite Link. Because of how it's built. So, that's it for this video. And I'll see you next time. Ba 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 ba.